It's time for another Dice Tower review with Z Garcia.
Hey everybody, today I'm taking a look at The Lost Expedition. The Lost Expedition here is from Osprey Games, who continues to get better and better, so I'm excited about that. And from Pierre Sylvester, the designer, whose games honestly have been a little touch and go for me in the past. So I wasn't sure what to expect. Now, the look of the game I was very attracted to. I thought it had a nice theme, it has a great look to it, and it is cooperative. Or at least that's one of the many ways you can play cooperative. So I was excited to check it out. Was it one that lived up to what I was sort of building up in my head? Is it a good game in my opinion? Let's take a look. The idea of the game here is to traverse the jungle with your party of explorers, get to the lost city before they all perish, or you've run through the deck of adventures here twice, all right? The game can be played three ways. You can play solitaire, which is what I'm going to be showing you. You can play cooperative with multiple players, or you can play a head-to-head mode where two people are competing, and each one's going to have their own little character traversing the jungle, which is why they give you another one. So for now, I'm just going to put this one away, and I'll be showing you the solitaire mode. I'll explain just a couple of the differences in the other modes, all right? The rounds go like this. You're going to play through a morning phase of exploring through a few different carts, dealing with events that come up and such. At the end of the morning, you have to eat some food. Then you go through the evening phase, which plays out slightly differently. At the end of the evening, you'll again eat some food. After that, you'll be dealt some new cards, and you go back to the morning and continue playing until you win or lose. So, solitaire, you start with 3 food, 3 ammunition, 3 health on each of the characters. They each have a different expertise, and you are going to shuffle up the deck and give yourself 6 cards, all right? And these cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, have on them different events, different things that happen. So, for example, venomous spider you've encountered. And there are going to be some symbols. There's a drawing, of course, the gorgeous big illustration there, and then some symbols at the top that tell you what could happen, what might happen, sometimes what has to happen. There are 3 kinds of symbols at the top. You get the yellow banners. Those are mandatory. You have to do those. Then you get the red ones. There will always be more than one with the raggedy edges there. You pick one of them. And then the blue ones are completely optional. You don't have to do those if you don't want to. All right. There's also a big number and a name for the card. So I've got my 6 cards here. In solitaire mode, here's the way this works. I'm going to play out 6 cards. 3 come from my hand, 3 come from the deck. I'm going to go through them all. They'll be organized numerically for the morning phase. Once that's done, I'll pay food, and then I go through the evening phase. During the evening phase, and there is less structure, the cards are not organized, and so I have a little more freedom at a little more risk also. So let me just launch into it and show you how this works. Morning phase. I flip over 2 cards. And again, they're going to be organized numerically. So what I do is, instead of waiting till the end of the round, I just do it as I go to see how things are going to play out. Then I'll play 2 cards from my hand. I'll play that one. And I'll play, I don't know, how about this one here? That one. Then I flip over a 5th card from the deck, and it numerically goes wherever it goes. And then a final card comes from my hand. So 2 deck, 2 hand, 1 deck, 1 from the hand. This one's going to be this one. 41 goes right here. And then we go through them and deal with everything that happens. Okay, so the healing herbs here, it says that I have to skip the next card, so I'm going to be skipping over this one. And then this is a choice. I can give up 1 expertise, and right here it tells you what all the symbols mean. So if it's grayed out or it's just the outline, it means you are spending that thing. If it is filled in and colored in black, that means you are gaining that thing. There's also some other symbols over here that explain some other concepts. So this one means I have to skip the next card. I will do that. This one's going to be gone. And the bottom says I may, it's in blue, give up 1 expertise in that specific realm, which would be this character, to gain 2 health and add a card to the end of this line. I'm not going to do that because, well, they're full health right now, and they cannot go above what they have. So I won't do that. This card has been dealt with. This card has been skipped and dealt with. The rest of these, this one says I have to skip 2 cards, and then I may give up a health to gain 2 food. Definitely will do that. I'll give up 1 health, gain 2 food. Food is hard to come by in this game, and I'm skipping these 2 cards. So these have all been dealt with. Good. And then finally, this card here says I give up a health and I give up food, and there's 1 fewer card. I get rid of a card after this one. Not great, but unfortunately, I have to do it. This is a very bad card to have at the very end because it's just punishment, no reward. So get rid of that. That's done. End of the morning, I have to eat, and I get rid of that. We flip over to the evening, and in the evening, I'm going to also deal with 6 cards, 3 from my hand, 3 from the deck, but they come out in whatever order I want to, and they will not be rearranged. I can add to the front or the back of the line. So I flip over a card. I'm going to flip over another one from the deck. I'm going to put this one here. Now, let's say I want to play from my hand, so I'll play from my hand, and I'm going to go here. No, I'm going to play from my hand, and I'm going to go here, and I'm going to play from my hand, and I'm going to go here. 1 more from the deck. I can go at the front or at the back. I'll put it at the back. And the last card from my hand, I will put right here at the front. All right. And now, again, I go through these. The ultimate goal here, as I said, is to get my character to the very end, which you have not seen yet at all. But that little symbol of a person with a walking stick indicates moving 1 card ahead. This is typically longer, by the way. I just cut off the end here so that you could see the path on screen. So this one allows me to swap 2 cards, and then I'll get one of those 2 options, both of which are bad, well, because it's a venomous spider. This card says I'm going to get rid of 2 cards at the end of the line, so I want to make sure that both of these are cards I don't really want to deal with. So what I'll do is I'm going to move this one and this one. Let's do that, all right? And this, now I have to do one of these 2. I can kill someone outright. I'm not going to do that. Or I can lose 1 point in that, which means I take the health from that person. I can also take 2 health from another person to give up an expertise that the person I'm taking the health from is not proficient in. This is done. This card says I have to give up a food, and I ignore the last 2 cards. And then I may do one of these options. I might as well do it because you need to see me move ahead. So I'm going to give up a health and a knowledge. I'll take the health from this one. And a knowledge in that specific realm. And then I move ahead. There we go. And then this one says I have to give up a knowledge in that, which means the last health from this player. This character now has perished. And then I may do one of these things. In this case, I've encountered a Black Panther. I'm going to shoot it, and I'm going to get some food, which I'm going to need. That's done. And then lastly, over here, I am going to give up a food and give up an exploration and advance. And then the blue I may do. I'm not going to do that. That's done. End of the evening phase. I eat, go back to the morning. I deal myself 6 new cards, and I continue until everyone's dead, which clearly is going to happen quite soon, or I make it all the way out here, or you go through the deck twice. That also will end the game. So that's it. That's how you play the game. You try to keep them alive, organize these cards in a way that makes sense, where you can combo things, string ideas together to help you out, conserve your ammo, conserve your food, try to win the whole thing. That's solitaire. If you play cooperative mode, you are going to be playing cards back and forth to the line of 6 cards. It depends on the number of players, how many cards you have in your hand. Actually, you might be holding fewer with more players. And during the card deployment phase, nothing comes from the deck, of course. You just play from your hands. You cannot talk about the cards you're holding, but once the card does hit the table, then you can discuss back and forth what else you think you should attempt to accomplish. Again, without discussing, hey, I have this card that could give us food, you can say that. If you play the head-to-head mode, you'd have the 2 characters. And the way this one works is there's going to be 2 lines created of cards. So, for example, you can have a line going there and a line going up here. Eventually, you'll play your 6 cards, but the lines do not have to be the same length. You could have a line with 2 cards and one with 4. And then the leader for the round picks which line they want in the morning. They go through it. The opponent goes through the other line. But then in the evening, the leader, the one who got to pick first during the morning, gets the leftover line in the evening. So very interesting. You got to be careful. If you're the one that you're picking last, you want those 2 lines to be as even as possible so that you don't get stuck with a really awful, pick. But that's it. That's how you play the game. Try to win the whole thing. Try not to die. And if you accomplish it, then you walk away the winner of the Lost Expedition. This is one that over a few different plays grew on me more and more. The first time I played, the main thought in my head was, oh, I really like this theme, but it doesn't particularly come through with the cards just being an illustration and then some symbols, And you sort of had to see past the card, or rather take the card and build up a story for yourself in your head. So like, the grayed out bullet and food next to it means like I shot the crocodile or the jaguar or whatever, and I have food, okay? What does it represent if I get hurt and it's a card longer? I guess I'm trying to go around the river, but the crocodile bites me. So again, you sort of have to build up a story for yourself to really immerse yourself in the theme. Having said that, I got there eventually, and so the more I've played, the more I have enjoyed it. Solitaire for me is the best way to play this. It's super tough also. It's very difficult, but it's the mode I enjoy the most. Not to say I don't like the other 2 ways of playing. They are also neat. They're also very fun, but Solitaire really lets me sit there and puzzle all this out and have a great time going through a little adventure. This one surprised me. I do enjoy it. It's one I would recommend for solitaire gamers out there. I think you're going to get a nice amount of entertainment out of this one. And if you just want something with a neat theme, something a little bit different, then I think you're also going to get it in this one. So, yeah, not a lot else to say here. I'm really happy with Osprey and the quality of the artwork that they've always been good at, but the quality of the cards as well is great in this one. Cards are nice, big, nicely finished. They have a good feel to them. They seem like they're going to last a long, long time. Packaging is good. The whole thing is very well put together, so kudos to the company for that. And it's a game I very much enjoy from Peter Sylvester, so I'm looking forward to more games from that designer. So that's it for me. Definitely recommend you check this one out. I'm going to give this one a seal of approval, and I think if you enjoy this style, throw out some cards, go on a little adventure, I think you're going to dig it. You just need to look for that theme a little bit.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.